Hey everyone, so last week I told you all that I got some parts in from Texas Instrument. They were the SN754410NE, and what they are were some half-H drivers, quad half-H drivers. And I said that we're going to do some, or more specifically, I'm going to do some projects with them. Drive some stepper motors that I bought years ago. And so what I'm going to do in this video here is I'm going to tell you guys exactly what type of a project I'm going to do with those stepper motors, and then also I'm going to test those drivers that came in using the stepper motors that I got, along with a program that I downloaded off of the Arduino website. So stick around. Got some what I consider to be some exciting stuff anyway for me that I'm doing this weekend. So again, stick around and we'll be right back after this break. All right, so let me talk about the project that I'm going to be working on over the next few weeks. Just a little bit of a background. So I have not had cable in years. And so for me to be able to look at local broadcast channels, what I do is I've gotten one of those digital antennas and I just connect to my TV. For the most part, what I've done over that period of time is I've positioned my antenna so that it actually gives me the most amount of channels. Now, of course, that comes with some problems, or it causes some problems, because to position the antenna a different direction will give me other channels. So every once in a while, if I want to watch something on a specific channel for which I'm not getting a signal, I have to reposition the antenna. So that's where the project comes in. If I can actually create a circuit that would position the antenna for me based on what I tell it to do, of course, then that would actually be a really cool project. And so that's what I'm trying to work on, a circuit that will just position the antenna, turn it around so that I get, the best signal for whatever channel I'm watching. So if you're not very familiar with this, let me explain it using this website here. And so the name of this website is Antenna Web, and it's antennaweb.org. And FYI, I do not endorse anything that you will or currently see on this website in terms of advertising. I'm just here to kind of give you an idea as to what the reasoning behind why I'm building this project. All right, so again, we're using antennaweb.org. And so what you do is you go in here and you put in your address. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the address for my downtown Decatur office space. And so that is 160 Claremont Avenue, Decatur, Georgia, 30030. And then let's see, we're on the second floor in that building. So we're not over 30 feet. So I'm not going to put in a check mark into this box. And so once I submit here on Antenna Web, what it does is it tells me all the different channels I should be able to see from that location, given the information that I added in there. Okay, and you'll see the information down here. And so what you'll notice is that that location is here, and it says that one television station is over here, another television station is over here, another one over there, another one over there, so on and so forth. So in other words, their broadcast antenna or antennas are in these different locations. And so if you want to, let's say, get the best signal, let's say for these in yellow, I'd turn pretty much my antenna in that direction. If I want to get these up here in purple and blue, I'll turn pretty much in this direction. And then if I want to see the one over here in green, I'd turn the antenna in that direction. And of course, again, that becomes real problematic, because what happens is you find yourself either not having access to certain channels at different periods of time, or you have to go and turn the antenna. So again, if I can actually put together a project that will turn the antenna for me and I won't have to get up off my couch, that would be perfect. And so that's what we're trying to do, or that's what I'm trying to do in this project here. And here's a list of channels, by the way, that I should be able to see from that location. And so apparently the one that's in green here, or one of these that's in green, happens to be either that station or local PBS station. But anyway, actually it's a PBS station, because you can see once I move the cursor over that, it actually goes dark. And let's see, yeah, it doesn't do it for that one. So again, that's what the project is about, being able to control the antenna and turn it so I don't have to get up off the couch. Yes, I am lazy, but hey, what is technology for? Here's the program or the project that I'm going to work on in this video. And so it's a stepper motor knob. And again, this is found on the Arduino website under their tutorial section. And so they have a list of the hardware required. I have my own list a little bit later. I'm going to show that to you. They also have the circuit that you're going to use. They have a unipolar stepper circuit and a bipolar stepper circuit. Now I have a bipolar stepper motor, so I'm going to use this one. I'll come back to this in a minute. They also have the code that you're going to use, and so here's the code, and you'll notice here it says, let's see, that the stepper motor follows the turns in the potentiometer. So if you turn the potentiometer one direction, it goes one way, and then if you turn the opposite direction, it goes the opposite direction. Okay, and so again, this is a program that I'm going to use, and then there's some other information down there. Now the circuit, the bipolar circuit that I'm going to use, you can actually get it from here. I'll go ahead and click on it, and they actually have a visual circuit that you can use, but to be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of visual circuits, so I'm actually going to use this one here, which is the actual schematic. And so this is a bipolar motor knob schematic, and I'll blow this up, and this is the one that I'm going to be using through the experiment as I'm making my connections. And I will use a marker highlighter to highlight the traces that I'm connecting at the time. Now, I've been using this method from time I was in college, and so I use this as a way to kind of minimize the amount of errors that I make during the connection, because as you start connecting stuff, this stuff is going to get real hairy. So that's what I do. As I connect something, I mark it off, and that way I won't have to worry about it either not being connected or me, for some strange reason, connecting it twice. Okay. And also up here, you'll notice that they have the bipolar stepper motor. My bipolar stepper motor isn't the same, so I'm going to have to show what my connections are as I'm drawing, or pardon me, as I'm putting the circuit together. Okay, and then my power plug here, this is going to be coming from my power supply, and so all of this again will be shown as I go through and put together the circuit. So again, this is a circuit I put together, a project I'm working on in this video, and so you can follow along with me as I do that. For this video, here are the items that you're going to need, or for this project I should say, here are the items you're going to need. You're going to need a proto board, and so I have one here. If you're not familiar with how to use a proto board, I do have some videos on my YouTube channel that you can review on how to use the proto boards. I have two different sets, or two different categories. I have ones where it's the actual proto board itself, and then I have another set where it's the, I guess you can say, like a simulated version of it. And so I would suggest you use one of each. I have this one in particular, this board in particular, on the channel, and then again, like I said, you can use one of the simulated ones so that you get a better idea as to how the holes and so forth are connected. So I'm going to use a multimeter also set to the continuity tester, and so what that's going to do is to ensure that when I put the wires into the board, that there is a good connection made. So again, I have a video on YouTube that you can use to see how to set up the multimeter so that it's set to continuity testing. Also, you're going to have, this is my stepper motor. Again, this is a bipolar stepper motor. According to the circuit setup, we're going to need a 10K pot, and so that's my 10K potentiometer. That's what pot stands for. It has nothing to do with drugs. We also have some connection wires. Here is my Arduino Uno, the Arduino Uno. And here is that driver that I purchased from Texas Instrument. It's right here. And then, as I suggested a little bit earlier, you should use a marker just to highlight what has already been connected. I also have a USB cable that's going to be connected to the Arduino and then to a laptop so I can get power to my Arduino. And then, not shown on the screen here, you're going to need a secondary power supply. So I'm going to use my power supply from my lab in order to provide power to the driver, which is then going to drive the stepper motor. And then finally, I have here just a circuit diagram just to help me along as I'm actually making the connections, and again keeping track of what has been connected already. So these are the items that I would suggest that you need. You may also need wire cutters. That's up to you if you don't have pre-cut connection wires. So again, these are the items that I'm going to use as I go ahead and connect the circuit. All right, so I finally got my circuit put together, and as you can see, it looks kind of messy, but to be honest with you, given that this is just prototyping, I'm okay with that, because again, it's just prototyping. So on the board here, on my table here, you can see I have the Arduino over here, and then I have that motor driver that I ordered from Texas Instrument, that's over here. And then over at the top here, you can see I have my stepper motor, and I'll bring that just a little bit closer. And then wires going to connect that over to the driver over there. And I have two different voltage sources. I have my laptop here that's going to be producing the voltage for the Arduino. You can see that white cord coming from the laptop going into the Arduino here. And the power supply back here, that's going to be providing the power to the driver that's on the board. Okay, so again, that's the driver, and this is the power going to the driver. And the reason why, again, we needed two voltage sources is because one needs to power the Arduino and the other one needs to power the driver, which will be powering the motor. Now, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I cheated a little bit. Before I started this session right here, I actually double checked to see if this was working, and I know it's gonna work. And so let me explain how this is gonna work. I'm gonna turn the potentiometer here. Potentiometer is that 10K ohm potentiometer. I'm going to turn it one direction, and what it will do, it will cause the stepper motor over here to turn in one direction. I'll turn it the opposite direction, and then it will turn the opposite direction. What I've done is I've added a little piece of paper to it so that you can actually tell that it's actually changing directions. Okay. So let's go ahead now, and we're going to, or at least I'm going to, turn my power supply on. I already have a set voltage and current for it. Okay, and so you can see what I have there. And so now let me go ahead and turn the potentiometer, and you'll see what happens with the motor. All right, so you can actually see it turning there. And then let's go the opposite direction. Okay, and so again, what I'm doing is I'm turning the potentiometer, and I'll try to get both into view here. Oops, it's going to be kind of hard. And then turn back the opposite direction. All right, okay. Let's turn that off. All right, so you can see that this is working. So in this video, I was able to prove that the driver is capable of running the motor, and I was capable of showing also that I can connect the Arduino to this that driver which drives the motor. And we also downloaded that program that we got from Arduino, the Arduino website, and so everything works in terms of that. But of course, when you're dealing with stepper motors, turn it in circles going left or clockwise and counterclockwise is not the objective. With stepper motors, you want them to be a whole lot, or the idea is anyway, you want it to be very precise as to where it turns to and where it stops and so forth, which is very important when it comes to robotics, or in the case of the project that I'm working on, turning that antenna to the direction given by that website, web antenna. So again, you can try this at home. Next week, we'll try a different project to just continue again proving that we can actually, control the motors and so forth. We'll build on a little bit more on the program, and let's just put it this way. I have a whole bunch in store for next week, and you'll just have to come back and see what I have in store. Again, tune in next week, see what's new.